Hey, Michelle Cederberg here with a February work-life recharge, and I have been off the video for a little while, but I'm super excited to get back on with my friend Sarah McVanel talking about recognition. Now, Sarah McVanel is a good friend of mine from St. Catharines, Ontario. She is a recognition expert that is passionate about guiding each of us to rediscover our own greatness. I mean, who couldn't use more of that, and recognize the greatness in others. I'm so excited to have you here, Sarah. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Michelle. I absolutely love your work-life recharges, and I share them with my folks all the time. So
awesome. So I have known Sarah for a few years now, and her energy is absolutely contagious. And this whole recognition thing, it connects with work-life recharge. To me, it does. And so I want to ask you, Sarah, I talk about recharging work and life and helping people get higher success energy. So how does rediscovering your own greatness factor into that?
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, Michelle, but when I'm not feeling the love for myself, when I'm not able to see what my greatness is, however it's showing up, whether it's in my family life, whether it's in my contributions to the things that I'm most passionate about in my community and causes, and certainly if I'm not feeling it in my career or my business, I don't really offer the best version of myself.
Right.
So part of this is I love that concept that you talk about with success energy. I think this is part of what fuels success energy, is seeing our greatness and standing in that power.
All of us want to go to work and have atta-girls and atta-boys. You've done a great job, Sarah. You've done a fantastic job, Michelle, but that doesn't always happen, does it?
Well, I mean, part of it is not all of us work in environments where we actually see people to do that. I mean, you and
right.
I
we're both self-employed. We got to sit in our own office and say, oh my gosh, I'm so great.
Actually, but I will tell you, when I first started my business, because I had originally no intention of starting my business. So all of a sudden, I have the completely reshift of my life. And I realized very quickly, I actually did need to be that atta-girl for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a beautiful spot in my office where I would write myself, painfully some days, one acknowledgement every single day until it became a habit. And it took about 6 months. Even though I was a recognition expert, it still took about 6 months for me to
6 months.
6 months, sister. I know.
Okay, so if you're in a workplace environment, you do look for it from your coworkers and from your managers and bosses. You don't always get it. So you're saying find it within.
Totally. Well, I mean, why would you want to give over control of any aspect of your life to other people? For one thing, if you don't absolutely have to. I mean, I'm sure there are some circumstances in our life where it makes perfect sense that you're not the one who's responsible. But when it comes to your own happiness, your own managing of stress, your own health, why would you want to put that in anybody else's hands if you don't absolutely have to? So self-recognition is one way to do that.
Because deep down, and I know every single one of my viewers know this, deep down, you know what you're awesome at. Deep down, you know that you're a good person. You know that you've got successes. So why wait until somebody tells you that? Just own it.
Yeah, own it. And a lot of the groups that I speak for, and you and I speak for similar audiences, right? A lot of healthcare people and, people who are sometimes compassion fatigued, that can be burnt out, that they give so much of themselves to other people, that's part of what reduces their energy or their desire to do it, is that they feel that my job is to give it to other people. But then when you add on being a mom and a dad and an aunt and a uncle and a volunteer and a board member and all the other things that you've got to do in life, it's just depleting as opposed to it being an empowering thing. Right. So, part of what I hope your viewers get, because you have so many rock stars who are giving so much to other people who are watching this video, is remember, it's actually the least selfish thing that you can do by recognizing your own greatness, because you actually can see and have the energy to recognize the greatness in other people who really depend on you when you're able to.
So what you're saying is if you are good at recognizing the greatness in yourself, you're going to have more to give to others.
It's an absolute indisputable fact. I mean, it's validated in research and literature. I write about it in my books.
The frog factor.
The frog factor, exactly. Yeah, my frog. Yeah, for this dude, he reminds me all the time, forever recognize others' greatness. That's my brand. But it's also forever recognize our greatness, because that's where it starts. We got to frog ourselves. And, you haven't lived until you've gone up to a perfect stranger and said, I need to frog you. And see the reaction. But we can do that for ourselves. When we're having a bad day, you can whimsically look at yourself and go, girl, you best be frogging yourself right now. Or
so what are some of the things that you do to frog yourself?
I mean, you just have to pull down those humble pants some days. Like you just like, walk around feeling that being humble and shirking off compliments is like a badge of honor. So sometimes it's like, yeah, you're right. Yes, you're welcome. Yes, I'm happy that you enjoyed that, that conversation. I'm glad it was helpful. Really own it, right? When you do something for somebody that was generous and that's great, really own it. Accept compliments when they're given to you, because it happens all the time. You don't have to sort of like.
And we go, oh gosh, it was nothing.
It was nothing. It was something.
It was something.
Right?
I always say this about praise. If people give it to you, they might be seeing something in you that they don't possess in themselves. And when we dismiss it, it's like we're saying, no, your gift isn't worthwhile to me.
You're also role modeling that being acknowledging of yourself is a bad thing. Why don't you, if they're struggling, part of the gift you give them is showing them that you can stand in that comfort of acknowledgement, so that then they can acknowledge themselves once they're a little bit farther over their hump that they have come to get some support from you.
Okay. So a couple of ways that if I'm having I don't feel so great about myself day, a couple of ways that I can just recognize my own greatness beyond looking in the mirror and saying, oh my gosh, you rock, which is a good thing.
Well, I mean, but hey, look in the mirror for sure. I know some people who put Post-it notes on, like just a reminder, you're awesome. My kids would just take down my Post-it notes, so I don't practice that. But you could. But hey, have your Michelle that you could phone up and go, okay. And I actually had that conversation with another speaker yesterday. She's saying, I know I'm beating myself up. I don't know what's going on with me today, but I'm totally doubting everything. I'm like, okay, let's talk about it for 15 minutes. So have the people who are on your team. And I know all your listeners have that. You've all got people on your team.
We've all got our supports, our rallies.
Right. Exactly. And if somebody is not doing that for you, another choice that you have is you can de facto them from your life. Like you don't have to actually have them in your life or as much in your life as they currently are. Some people I even see that they really dial back or they change their social media habits and what they choose to look at and what they, choose to put out there. That's a reality that some people choose to manifest.
Just so they feel better. I call it the soul-sucking social media comparison trap.
Yeah, exactly. Or the opposite is like, if you're sitting there going like, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. Like, hey, definitely check the soul sucking, anything that's soul sucking, definitely check it. Right. But why are you resentful that they're putting something positive out there? Why don't you share something positive? Yeah. Like randomly sometimes be like, you know what? I have the best husband in the world. Done. Nobody likes it. I don't care because I know. And it's
it makes me feel great. I have the best husband in the world too. So yeah. Lucky.
I love that we're in competition. That is a good competition to be in. Yeah.
So if there's anything that you would want to share with my viewers as a final thought around recognizing your own greatness or recognizing the greatness in others, what would you say?
I would just say, notice when you do it already. Number one thing, a solution-oriented approach is the approach that I use in life. And it's evidence-based for those of you who are people who have a very evidence-based sort of practice to your profession. A solution-focused approach is look at what's already working first, as opposed to trying to change and fix things that aren't working. Right. Or and look at where you are recognizing. Is it that you're able to do that for your kids even when you're not feeling resilient? Is it that you teach people fitness, and that you probably give it as part of the acknowledgement so that people can keep on going with their fitness milestones. Notice when you aren't so hard on yourself. Maybe you're hard on yourself most of the time, but that you weren't hard on yourself with that thing. Notice the things that you are that are working for you, or that you are
already doing well.
Right.
Because we will tend to look at, I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at that. Instead of, oh my God, I already do rock in so many different ways.
Exactly. That can be like on the big picture of what do I rock at in general. And if people are really wanting to focus in on how do I rock at recognition, you can even start there. Like start at the smallest possible denomination of success. Notice the success and then scale out from there, right? So, you pick your medium. If you want to go big first, small first, whatever works for you, but
small steps is something I also talk about. But here's the thing, it's recognition. It's good feelings. It's happy thoughts. And so why wouldn't you want to spend more time in your day paying attention to recognizing your own greatness and recognizing the greatness in others? Where can people find you if they want more information?
Well, of course, like you, have a YouTube channel. So thrilled for folks to be able to get a dose of recognition best practices every week, because that's what I'm all about, is sharing those and interviews with rock stars like you, because you and I are going to do an interview too. So that's one thing. My website's greatnessmagnified.com. So thrilled for you to come and check out our community there. And hey, I'm on lots of social media too. So love to have conversations with people who are all about your success energy.
Sarah McVanel, Greatness Magnified. It's always great to chat with you. You can see why I like her. Her energy is infectious. Until next time, I'm Michelle Cederberg, helping you transform your work and life one success energy recharge at a time.